Alright guys, I think you guys can hear me or whatnot. We're back. I go to the doctor tomorrow. It's almost literally December. And literally like in a month, I have to go to California. Looking forward to New Year. Looking forward to new beginnings, I guess. This, that, and the third. I'm not trying to stumble on my words or whatnot. And, yeah. The thing that I'm thinking about most is like, life. And propelling yourself forward, I guess. The thing that I think about most now is just like, age. I'm not that old. Or whatnot. And we're just trying to propel ourselves forward or whatnot. And yeah, I'll give you my official thoughts on MW2. I think MW2 is not good. I just bought it and literally I cannot play the game because I got a dev error. So, what I like to do is get a sense of how certain stuff. I played a few matches. I probably played for like 3 hours of private matches before I went to work. I haven't played a bit of a single player game. Not single player, but like a single multiplayer game at all, because again, I don't know how the skill-based matchmaking is. Do I think I'd do terrible? I would possibly think I wouldn't do terrible. Just off the fact that on MW 2019, I wasn't bad. I probably had like a 1.40 kill death. I wasn't terrible. 1.40 is not necessarily good, but for most Call of Duties, I've had like a 2. Over a 2. But since the stuff has been terrible, stuff's been absolute fucking shit. Call of Duty's kind of been shit. Most games been shit, actually. I digress. But, like, yeah. So, a lot of video games and stuff for sunk costs. There's really no basis in the price. You shouldn't buy games at full price. I'm pretty sure most people know that. What we're paying for the game is pretty bad. A lot of the stuff they do is not good for consumers, but we're still going to buy it. I buy games because I didn't like them, or, give me something to do. Now, how I think about games and certain stuff, like, really different. The last 2 games, I didn't purchase games for a long time, for a few months. I can't remember the last game that I bought. Last game I technically bought was Star Wars. I didn't go ahead and finish that, Lego Star Wars. Wow, this piece of shit just did that. Excuse my language. Should never happen. Now, one thing I will say in general sense, like with business and money or whatnot, I don't think that times right now, in a sense, it does not necessarily apply to certain people. Like my sister was asking me, what do I think about games, or just certain stuff. Like you go out to a date, or like with a lady, your first date. Where are some places you can go to? There's like this bar place. It's like for people 21 up. Kids can go, I think, to a certain point, but it's basically adult theme. It's called Boxcar. To me, I'm not necessarily a fan of bars, or like, I like to go to places where it's kind of like membership only, or something like that, where it's a little bit more, you got like a thing to it. It's not, I'm not necessarily a big drinker. I don't like meeting new people or going to certain places. I'm not one of those people who need to talk to people or tell people what I do for a living, or I don't do stuff like that. I'm not necessarily a chatterbox. I don't need people's respect. I don't necessarily want people's respect, especially if it's fake and phony. No matter to me. But yeah, I digress. Someone wants to know my thoughts on professional gaming. I don't think professional gaming is a good idea nowadays. $250,000 divided up between your team. You don't own your social media. You get dragged into certain stuff. Like, to me, there's certain type of endorsement, not necessarily endorsement, sponsorships I would never take. Like someone said $15,000, someone was going to pay me $15,000 for Raid Shadow Legends. I wouldn't take $15,000 for Raid Shadow Legends. I wouldn't take their money at all. I can't endorse something that's some fucking shit and like, I don't do stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna get back what I'm saying. Me personally, I would not purchase MW2. And I spent $75 on that. And what I saw, what I'm getting error codes, and I'm not necessarily even in a match fully. I experienced it with some friends. We'll probably run a few. I'll hit up one of my friends tomorrow about it or whatnot. I'll try to get something. And then like 2 years ago, what? This guy's so low. This guy should never been able to hit me, man. I think the best game that I had to get back into and watch these quests, I'm going to have to check God of War. I like it so far, but I'm going to have to complete this side quest and kind of get an idea of what I'm supposed to do. I like the game. I do. I'm going to beat it. This is the one game I want to literally try to beat. What's it called? That Midwestern game, I'm not going to pick that up, more than likely. The interesting thing, I think about in terms of business or whatnot, I think about certain stuff. Like, I don't like retail. Or anytime you're dealing with, like, just certain stuff, or I feel like it's best to deal with certain stuff appointment only. And like ID, you have, guards, you have security, you have security features, because nobody's trying to get robbed. Like, I did a little, like, a study on somebody. I even realized a place had gotten robbed by somebody, and I looked at the thing. The person who robbed the place is a convicted murderer. He didn't kill anybody. He definitely has violent tendencies, whatnot. And he has a huge, lengthy rap sheet, and he done shot people. This guy's a psychopath. And I told my dad, like, this guy had been going around robbing, taking certain stuff. How come he's not Other places, you do something one time, you're executed. Like if you have a track record or you do something like robbery in other places, you're getting executed. In my honest opinion, I feel like the punishment for that is warranted in a sense because in a sense, some people it's not about money. It's not about money. I watched the video and I had to stop watching videos for a while. Is that people were literally handing up the stuff and they still got killed. Or the people got paralyzed. If someone got paralyzed, man, I just think about certain stuff. It's just not right. If people getting slapped on the wrist, I don't agree with that. Like if someone got shot in the back or something like that, and they're paralyzed from the waist down for the rest of their life, maybe that person is sent child punishment where they get their spine broke. And to me, that I think that's more than fair. Or they get executed, because there's just no. In today's world, today's society, let me get something to, like, I don't know, man, like out the way. What is about crime and certain stuff? I don't think certain stuff is about money. I don't. I think about certain stuff. I don't think it's hard to make $1 million a year. I legit do not believe it's hard to make $1 million a year, but also to, like, let's say someone goes and buys, I don't know, another little thing about organs or pianos, they fix those up or they get stuff serviced. You sell 100 pianos. That's $500,000. You sell 200 or whatnot. Not necessarily 200. You sell. They could start out 5,000. Sell 10. You're doing alright. Once you got this thing about scaling, I'll put it that way. Let me run my numbers real quick. And not numbers for gambling. Calc. 5,000 times 200. Yep. So 200, you made your, what you call it, million. I don't think it's that hard. Now, one thing I do think in a traditional sense, if you're talking about business or what's that going to look like in the foreseeable future? guy knocked down my stuff and I only did 74. I don't know about that. The one thing I realized in terms of money's more of a instrument more than it is actual. It's more of a concept and an instrument at the same time. Money has no value unless there's an exchange of good or service that can't be matched or whatnot. Like I was talking to my dad earlier about certain stuff, like the new model of like guru in a sense is so bad nowadays. People feel like it's okay to charge people $25,000 to get a one-on-one phone call access to the person's phone number. I said, my dad, at a certain point, where everything the way stuff is going, it's almost like we're deifying, like literally, these influencers, these celebrities, or for a certain period, I would say we're deifying fashion. We're deifying the celebrity. We're deifying, I'd say like maybe materialism in a sense, because like if you think about it, you need to be able to take care of yourself, sustain yourself, or whatnot, sustain the household. Like you want to get married, have kids. You know, it's certain stuff. Now, the thing how I think, especially in talk about money, and we're talking about, women, I don't think a man should have to disclose his income past a certain point. Like, especially dating, like a woman talking about a man has to make $300,000 or more. I don't think a man has to make $300,000 at all. And a lot of these women, they don't have their ducks in a row. I mean, I like some of these women, they're 10s, but they're not a 10 in emotional maturity. They're showing like a lack. And to me, a lot of stuff that I say is 50-50. Both men and women could be bums. They bring nothing to the table. Like, I mean, sex, maybe. That's nothing special. A man, in my opinion, is supposed to be a provider, protector, and live the life with purpose or whatnot. And to be able to sustain the household, sustain, things around the home, matters of the home, food, water, this, that, and the third. A woman's job, and I don't believe in gender roles either. A man should be helping around the house, with stuff, cooking, cleaning, helping her out, helping, like, the girlfriend or wife out or whatnot. But there's just some stuff, in my opinion, because the way society is, you can't listen to, I don't know. It has nothing to do with Kevin Samuels. Like, a lot of people are talking about men, they play video games, they sit around and do nothing. I'm not here to necessarily disagree with the fact that some men don't do anything, but also some women don't do anything. Like, if someone got married or they're dating somebody, a person makes, $600,000 a month. They have multiple business ventures and making $600,000 a month. and their girlfriend is spending like 50K a month, I'm not marrying that person. Like, what do you need 50,000? Like, you knew what this was. Like, no. I'm not a bum. I'm not stingy. Like, you're not better in my life at any point or anything like that. I feel like you're using or you're taking advantage of me. You're gonna have to go. So you take me for granted. You gotta go. You gotta go. I know so many times, like in terms of like, my sister was talking about, some women are settling because, that's the best thing they could get. I will say, in all honesty, both men and women have dropped their stop substantially. Like, a man is making $1 million or more a year. I would say a man has to be careful who he sleeps with, who he dates, or, he has to be smart. He has to be careful and cautious about, where he's going, who he's talking to, how he's moving. There's a variety of factors. Like going to the gym and time. The thing about time, you can never get it back. So, let's say someone dated somebody for three years, and on average, this person, a girlfriend or whatnot, spending $40,000 to $50,000 a month on bags, luxury bags. Mind you, the person's making $600,000 a month. I don't think that a man should, a man should, like, I don't know, have to pay so much, like, I don't know how to put it this way. I see it as a hot topic nowadays. Hot topic. 500,000 or 600,000 a month. Steep. 50,000. Let me think. In terms of money, I think too, a lot of stuff that we see on social media with like rappers or athletes, they're getting these women pregnant. I think it's a bad idea. I think, what's bad more so with stuff going on nowadays is like, let's say rappers. I feel like everybody's trying to be the basketball wife or love and hip hop. And I think that's pretty bad nowadays. Like, if you think about it, a rapper could make $300K for booking. For a show. Peak performance, 300,000. But rap is not a long-term game. You can't make that much money with rap. Past a certain point, like the baby. The baby, I don't know how many kids he has. I think he has like maybe like 2 or 3, something like that. And I know people talking about Kim and Kanye divorce or the child support thing. What do I think about 200,000 a month in child support? I would say it's important don't get involved with the wrong people, in a sense. Kim Kardashian getting that type of money. I know everybody's been putting their 2 cents on it. For me, do I care that Kim Kardashian's getting 200,000? No, not really. But 200,000 in Beverly Hills is a drop in the bucket. I'll be willing to say a weekend in Beverly Hills, if you're moving right, and you just do certain stuff, you're on a little shopping, like excursion, you'll blow at least 50,000 easily. Overpriced food, shopping. Beverly Hills is, to me, plastic surgery capital of the world. California's basic plastic surgery capital of the world. Nowadays, Miami is too. I don't know. Rappers. To me, these athletes just gotta be smarter. It's just like, they gotta be smarter. With the women they involve themselves with, and they get one of these girls knocked up. That's all she wrote. I mean, personally, I do think it's all she wrote in terms of like once these rappers have these women, they have a baby with them to get them pregnant, and before you know it, they're broke. Or they paying, it don't cost $100,000 to raise no baby. Yeah, it doesn't cost $100,000 to raise a baby, but in a sense, child support is income based, and sometimes you just gotta be smart. That's what it comes down to. You gotta be smart. I think social media, in a certain sense, like sometimes I don't even get on social media like that. Like I could be perfectly good going a month or like for, I said like every year in a sense. I might purge myself from social media for like, I say half a year. I practically did that half a year last year. Was just tired of it. So probably like, when you talking about social media, I think social media, in a sense, or just certain stuff, people talk about stuff that's not their expertise. And to me, that's the bad thing about social media, is that people will take something as it is the gospel and run with it, even if they have no basis in what they're saying at all. Like, now let's say everything was better in the 80s, cars, or, no, they weren't. I think we're living in a day and age where, with certain stuff, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of stuff now, if you really think about it, is a stretch. Like, let's put it this way: I feel like a lot of information is free, and before we call someone a guru, we should go and do our own research. What research is out there? Like, no one is paying $25,000 for something that you've been doing for like 3 years. I'm not saying the person isn't a guru. Honestly, I'm gonna leave this lobby because it is a bad game. I lost health. I'm gonna get back to what, like, in terms of money, in a sense, in the terms of, like, I don't know. I honestly don't think in today's society or certain stuff like that, in my opinion, that's just not gonna work. And the one thing that I think that's bad, so much so nowadays, is that people, I'm not mad at the fact they're making money, but it's how they make money in a traditional sense. You get money off of banking off of a ball player, or it could be allegations of abuse. You know, that's something to be taken serious. You write a book, you have a thing. People write a book. They be on all these little lipstick alleys, the shade room, this, that, and the third. Honestly speaking, I think the shade room, lipstick alley, all this type of stuff, I don't even think that's something that, honestly, in a traditional sense, that most people would want to be on by any means. Like, for instance, let's say an NFL, NBA player, or somebody like that flies chicks out for ass sex or whatnot. Number one, these IG models, some of these IG models and certain stuff, they're basically escorting. Just call it for what it is. I see certain people talk about OnlyFans. These women, they're talking about their top, 0.01% on OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans should be outlawed. I would say OnlyFans was not made for pornographic material. It was not meant for that. That's what it's become. People are making $2 million a month off that. And in a traditional sense, someone makes $2 million a year, not a year, but if they had the right skill set, they'd probably make $2 million a year. Some of these women and men are thinking that, they already do certain stuff in their day-to-day life, they're going to put it on camera, and they're going to try to get paid for it. Maybe that's low. That's low. I think having dignity, and then like self-respect for yourself, in a sense. Morality and ethics can't be bought. You either have it or you don't. And in terms of like how I'm thinking in terms of certain stuff, like I don't know. To me, nowadays, a lot of stuff's going to come down like this. Everybody's still doing real estate. Everybody's trying to do crypto or day trade. I don't know. Maybe if I were to call it, I don't know, I'll get started in my career. I'll probably have myself like a little thing of being wild day trade, like once I get off work or something in a career, or do what I do with my stuff. Probably go to the East Coast, travel up and down at least for a certain period of time. Or find somebody we get along, to go to trade shows or whatnot. Business partners, we run ideas off each other, this, that, and the third. I think that'd be a good idea in that sense, but I'm still thinking about it, of how pretty much everything is nowadays. I was watching, like I said, I like to watch Pineapple Show. This woman making, I'll say 60,000 or something like that. She's a master's student in nursing or whatnot. She makes about 60,000. She says she needs a man that makes 300,000. I don't think that a man, in a sense, should have to make 300,000. It's not that, I'm a bum or anything like that. I don't think a man should have to make 300,000. And I see why people are saying that. But I'm still thinking about, like, in business and life, everything, like, business-wise, everything's the ultimate stick measuring contest, in a sense, when you think about it. And there's a reason why there's tiers to cars. Like, there's a reason why you had the Chevy Camaro, and you have the Scat Pack, the Dodge Challenger, the SRT. There's a reason why you have that. And to me, I'm not spending $40,000 on something that depreciates. That's just not smart. To me, the best investment you can make is real estate. Well, not necessarily real estate. Real estate is bad in a sense. I would say land, just pure land, is the best move. I would say LA has a good market for homes, but I would never live in LA because I don't. I feel like most places, if you know exactly how to move, when to move, you can be in and out. Don't know, let nobody know where you're at. Have security with you or whatnot. Move a certain way. Get out, be out in and out a day or two. You're good. Move on. Get to the airport. Handle your business and be out. Other times I'm not necessarily sure. Like, there are probably like 5 places I wouldn't go. In all honesty, I give you 5 places on top of my head that are not really good. It's Miami, Chicago, Detroit, New York City, and Los Angeles. Those are the 5 places I'm not necessarily too fond of. And part of that reason is population density. I mean, those are not necessarily family-friendly places to be at. In LA is expensive. It's not only that it's expensive, like people talk about homelessness. Homelessness is pretty broad. There's a lot of reasons why people are homeless. Number one, I would say lack of paying jobs, and I think some people they can't get a job or whatnot. Or, they just, I don't know how to put it, they're not medicated to get a job. They're not medicated like, in a sense, not put in a position to get a job. Like, granted, some people do need social workers to, like, find them a job, get them on their 2 feet. Gotta take their medications or whatnot. I think it's a little bit more complex than that. A little bit more complex than that. Like, if you think about homelessness is bad everywhere. But, like, if you think about Los Angeles, it's like, I'll probably say 100,000 people homeless. Maybe. Around, like, San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles. Probably 80,000, give or take. Just watching this thing, about this group that basically gives them people like a little home. They live in a box. Not necessarily a box. They live in like a wooden little home. It's probably like, I don't know, around, I say probably about 10 by 10. They have room, they have lights, air. They get these people social workers. They get the people some skills. They get these people, they get them people help that they need in terms of like, and they're dealing with like a mental health issue. They get them medicine or whatnot. They find some type of program or whatnot. Get the people back on their 2 feet. Find a job that's suitable, and then they deal with that. Get people back on their 2 feet. They give them people food, water. They give them skills. I don't think homelessness can be solved that way. In a sense, it's not necessarily about growing costs, in my opinion. I think it's a growing issue, in a sense. If in a sense, I don't think that someone can survive in Beverly Hills. I don't think anybody can survive off of $200,000. I think it'd be impossible. I would think rent, low end, probably 8,000 to 10. So someone's making 180. Pretty much all their money is going. Half of it is going to rent, for one. 2, what type of career field are you in? 3, I think in this day and age, it's not wise to stay in a place or a career field or work for anybody, in a sense, if you don't have to. We get paid peanuts. So I'm probably like, what I mean by peanuts? Man, this gun is trash. I think I had a wind up thing. It's bad. Feel bad, you talking way too loud. Oh my god, my mom. That's funny. 600,000. I know people are talking about like these jobs that are good. You don't need a high school or only high school diploma to get paid. Air traffic controllers at number one. Me personally, I think an air traffic controller is a good job, but also too, it's one of the most dangerous. And then too, you got to be attention to detail. The difference in a few seconds can be deadly. The airfield or whatnot. Let me check my profile. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, what are like the best investments that men or people can make? I don't necessarily think of stocks. Stocks are bad because stocks only have like what a good return in the last 100 years. It's only been that's the average return, 10%. Last year, well, not necessarily last year, it's almost been a good 2 years ago at this point. I would say, in my journey into crypto investing, I would say a good investment that I made, I think I beat the stock market. I didn't make that much money, but the average returns I was getting were like 18%. I had a person I knew who wasn't involved like stock market, he had no insight. He was looking at the stuff. He would tell me to buy this, that, and the third, whatnot. He saw potential in it. I made a decent amount of money. I made like, I'd say probably like $200 off of $100 investment. So I walked away with like $300. So it wasn't that bad. Dogecoin was a good investment for me, but I'll never invest in coins again. I would never invest in coins again. I'm holding on to my coins right now, but I do not expect it to go up at all. So I'm going to be very frank with you with coins and crypto. Like, someone shouldn't spend $6,000 on crypto. Not a good idea. It's a better idea to start a business or have an idea, give some insight. Don't spend money unless you know what you're going to do with what you learn and how to use that to your advantage. I think at the end of the day, in terms of gaming and certain stuff, it's not a good idea to put money into video games. I just buy it for enjoyment. Nothing more. I think at the end of the day, I don't really know how much money I spend on video games. And probably this year, I'll probably say I probably spent about 1,000 in games. Probably spent like 1,000. I bought Elden Ring, that was like $59.99. I bought Star Wars. There's a few more games I bought. I can't name them all off the top of my head. But I definitely know, for instance, I spent like $1,000. $1,000 spent on games. I think in the day and age of like, I don't know, just navigating, you know, as a society, you're not going to necessarily make money by staying at the same place. You're going to have to move a few times. I mean, it's not smart to stay at a place 20 years. It's just not smart. Like, unless you're in the military or police officer or you get a pension, it's not worth it to stay at a company for 20 years. It's not worth it. Like, someone's getting paid, I don't know, $58,000, but the stuff they're doing is really, on average, they should be getting paid $97,000. I have a problem with that. I feel like sometimes people get disrespected a little bit way too often, and people care to admit, but also too, you can't crack people upside the head. Like, you can't go and punch someone in the face even though they deserve it, in a sense, or everything can be solved by fists. What you can do, in a sense, is not deal with the place. You just walk away from it. I feel like in some cases, a lot of stuff, it's important to take the high road. At the end of the day, when we think about it, lack of better words, a lot of stuff is just drop in the bucket. That's how I look at stuff, as a drop in the bucket. Because, like, you think about it on average, you know, if you don't move places or you don't know your worth, in a sense, you suffer from mediocrity, in a sense, and sometimes you just have to move or get away from people. I'm just thinking about on average, like with business, you know, knowing a few things, how things run, you know what I'm saying? And what you're doing is really worth $15 an hour, or $16 or $17 or $18 an hour. And someone's paying you $11. That's it's pretty bad. In a traditional sense, I don't think retail is ever a good idea. The money in retail is not good unless you're a manager. And even then, It depends on what we're talking about. I think some people need to understand that all money is not good money. Few people understand that. Like, you had to work like a dog for, I don't know, $73,000. That's not good. I feel like another thing too, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. That's another thing. You know. Like if someone says, why do you deserve this job? You can be honest. Like if someone says you don't have a skill set with a job, I mean, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I think it's important not to listen to certain people. Probably won't watch some TV, probably watch videos. That's normally what I like to do. I like to watch videos. It's my favorite thing to do. Just watch videos at night. The one thing I will say, to me, some watches and stuff are overpriced. Very overpriced. Like if we had to say, I don't know, if someone had to ask me what I think the worst watch on the market right now is, I would say a Cartier Santos. It is the worst watch for the money because it's going to go down. And another reason why I would say a watch, in a sense, is bad. The Cartier Santos is bad. For the money. It's the most common thing people will try to put diamonds on. So when you buy a Cartier Santos, I think the new is like 40. So it's not 4,700. It's like 7,000. So with the Cartier Santos, you can possibly get like a good Datejust, Rolex Datejust 36mm for around the same price. You get a good pre-owned one. Or you can get two tutors for it's basically a Rolex without the name, made by the same people. Get yourself a Black Bay 58 or a Tudor, just a Tudor Black Bay. Because those are like 3,000. You can get two of those bad boys for a good amount. You get a good pre-owned one, you're probably looking at 2,600 or something like that. 2,600. But you'll more than likely want to probably sell, try to get it around 2,200. So you can make at least $200 profit. Oh my god, that guy almost killed me. I'll put one more and I'm going to sleep. I killed him. Let's see. To me, the worst watch brands to lose money. I'll give you at least three. Hublot, Cartier, single another one. Who makes bad watches I wouldn't buy? Not my thing. Let's see who. I'm trying to think who makes really bad watches no one buys anymore. I really can't name. I mean, I can name a watch. There's this Swiss watch, and they're not necessarily bad. They're not everybody's cup of tea, but I think they make decent watches. Jacquet Draws, they make okay watch. They have this one where it's a dragon, and it comes down, goes around a circle. I think it's a minute repeater too. It's $525,000. Has a complication, and then the movement of it, it's actually like a dragon moving. Someone might be like, what's a minute repeater? Minute repeater is like having a big bend on your wrist. You hear the time. There's a watch or certain stuff like that that is it does a lot of stuff. Grandmaster complications. Those watches normally go for retail probably like $375, $400. Secondary market probably $675 or $800,000. And part of that reason is because they only make a handful of that, and the people who make it, they die off, and there's not that many people doing it anymore. If someone had to ask me what my favorite watch is, which one I like, I'm not necessarily a big fan of diver watches. Like, I don't like the Submariner. I kind of like the Royal Oak Offshore, but I'm not necessarily big on anything with dive watch. Don't need it. I can name these are my favorite watch models. I like the Patek Philippe Aquanauts. Those are good in my opinion. I like the Vacheron Constantin Overseas. I like those. That's basically a sports model. I think that's a reasonable price. AP, I like a little bit of AP. Who are more reasons? Like, I like Rolex. I like the Datejust. I like the Datejust. I like the Explorer 2. Milk Gauss I kind of like a little bit, but I don't really think it's stylish. So it's a certain type of person. I like the Daytonas a little bit, but here's my other brand that's is medium. Let's see. Who makes a decent watch that's kind of like I like Gerard Perregaux. I like them for certain stuff. Gerard Perregaux is one of those watches that companies that they don't necessarily appreciate at all. They go down in value a lot. To me, what's the best watch company right now that I like? I can tell you I like RM. And my favorite watch group right now is Vacheron Constantin. They make good watches in my opinion. And they're reasonable. So probably like 22,000, 22 and a half is reasonable. I think 22 and a half is steep, honestly speaking. Bro, I like Vacheron. Who do I think makes the most innovative watches? I think, honestly speaking, there's not that many people that make innovative watches. RM is one of those, but RM's hype. There's other watch brands that are not. They're the caliber, but they're not necessarily. It takes people who know the history behind it. You got Global Forzy, you have FP Journe, and you have MB&F. MB&F, I really don't like their watches that much. They're definitely innovative, but they're not necessarily stylish. Your work, they make terrible watches. Absolutely terrible. And they look terrible. The Lange and Son, they look terrible too. Some of them. The Zeit work and the Datograph, not my type of watch. To me, I don't think that, again, there's not that many jobs in the sense that I'll be comfortable staying, 20 years at. To me, I don't think people should stay at jobs 20 years. I just don't. Not unless they're respected, they're, in a sense, they're safe. Good environment, they got like a plan, the company's taking care of the people. There's no bull. It's pretty consistent. You got a retirement plan, 401k. Me personally, I'm like self-employed or something like that. I'll put money in the Roth IRA and have retirement that way. I don't think it's hard to make $1 million. I don't. But I gotta understand that, like, I used to think everything is, I realized there's a reason why, in a sense, you work, in a sense, you gotta work what you want, in a sense, but I think another thing you gotta think about the safety. That's another thing you gotta think about. There's this guy used to, well, I really don't watch him as much anymore. Richard Fain. I think he gives out okay financial advice or whatnot. Me personally, I don't think that, in a sense, I'm out, y'all. Peace.